So who would have thought that an independent romance movie would have inspired one of the best trilogies of our time? Definitely not this guy. Before Midnight is directed by Richard Linklater and it stars Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. Now, this film is actually the third film in a trilogy. The first film was called Before Sunrise, and it was about a couple that simply met on a train on their way to Paris, and the entire film is just that one day, them walking through Paris, just talking and learning about each other. That's the whole movie, and it is so beautiful. It's one of my favorite romance films. Its sequel, Before Sunset, was made 9 years later, in 2004. The first one came out in '95. That film was them, by chance, running into each other again and simply spending the entire day talking to each other. Except they were older and more mature now, and they had different outlooks on life. Those two films were so beautiful and made me want to immediately go to Paris. Essentially what the movies were really about were just showing the way people interact, talking about life goals and things that they thought of and their thoughts on politics and love and all kinds of things, and you just got to watch these two people talk like a fly on the wall. So I was very excited for Before Midnight, which finally came to Cleveland last weekend, and I got a chance to see it. This film is excellent. It's an even more mature version than the last one because the characters are now 9 years older than they were before. And it's something so interesting that he's taking each 9 years to make another movie, and he's presenting the same characters in the same type of way, really long takes, almost like a theatrical play, and you get to watch these people talk and go back and forth and talk about how they feel. And as you watch all three films, the first one's about young love and how you are when you're young and you meet someone. The second one was more mature, and it was about how people view love when they get a little bit older. And the third one's more about how people view marriage, life, love, and even death, and their thoughts on that. And it's so beautiful to watch how these characters have matured to this point. And honestly, this movie is really just a series of very long takes and discussions in which you watch two people live over the course of a day. This one takes place in Greece while they're on vacation, and their discussions are so riveting and so well acted. Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy both are Oscar worthy in this movie, and they also contributed to the screenplay just like they did with Before Sunset, which was nominated for Best Screenplay, and I really truly think that this one should be too. This movie, and all of them really, are some of the most interesting, thought-provoking looks on romance that I've ever seen on film. And it was truly refreshing to see this movie in theaters amongst the big summer action blockbusters, which are fun in their own right, but it was just so nice to take a breather and just watch two people talk and have these masterful actors really work that dialogue. It all just feels just in the moment, like you're watching it really happening. This one has a different quality to it that isn't as fun as the first two, because the first two still had that quality where you're wondering, are they gonna get together? Is their romance budding? And those first two had that suspense. Now that they're already together in this one, it did lose that a little bit, which I thought made it not quite as good as the first two. Nevertheless, this is an excellent movie. I mean, this is a really good romance film, and these three films together are officially my favorite romance films. I strongly suggest checking Before Midnight out. I'm going to give it an A-. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.